Hi, this is going to be a song lesson on a Reverend Gary Davis song. This one's called Cincinatti Flow Rag. The tuning for the song is standard tuning, so EADGBE. Before getting into the lesson and going through it once, I'm going to mention two things. One is that you can get the tabs for this song by moseying over to the plottings.com website. And two, I'm going to start doing a song request type of thing where you can fill out any song that you'd like to have a lesson for, or even tabs made for, and I can work on that. So that's something that you can learn more about on the Plottings website as well. So I'll go through the song once and get into the lesson. Alright, so that was just a flavor of Cincinatti Flow Rag. Not that I exactly nailed it perfectly there, but hopefully that gives you the right idea. So the way the song starts is with a G chord. And at first there sounds like there's a lot going on, so breaking it down step by step, you've got this G chord where you can just sweep up on the treble strings, and that's pretty simple enough. And then you can just hit the 3rd fret of the bottom string. And then, so that's step 1, and then what you'll do is hit the 4th string open, 3rd fret of the top string, and sweep up on that. So you got that. And then you've got this part, which is the 5th string open. And then you'll fret the 2nd fret of the top string, 3rd fret of the 2nd string, except as you hit that 3rd fret of the 2nd string, you'll also hit the D string open. And then you'll hit the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And notice how it sort of just walks down like that. So you can just kind of rake up with your pointer finger there. And then what you'll do is a pinch. 2nd fret of the 5th string, 1st fret of the top string. That's a G7 chord. Pinching on the 5th string, top string. Now after you pinch that, you'll hit the 2nd string. And after you hit the 2nd string, again you kind of just rake through strumming hand, and you'll rake through and hit the third string open. So top string there, second string, third string. So you're doing this. And as you hit that third string, you'll actually also hit with your thumb the third fret of the bottom string. Now after you do that, here's an even easier part. You'll just hit the top strings with a sweep and fifth string open. That's easy enough as well. So you've got this G, this D chord, G7, and as you hit that third string open, you hit the third fret of the bottom string as well. And then you hit this easy part, which is just a strum and open fifth string. And then you can hit a pickup note, third string open. This G7 chord, except it's hit a little bit differently. Second fret of the fifth string, third fret of the fourth string, open third, third fret of the second string. And you'll just sweep up on the second string and hit that fifth string on the second fret. Pick up on the third string open and hit a C chord. And that's really that whole first section. Slower. G, D, G7. Differently, and then the C chord. Now you'll come up here. So after you hit here on the C chord, what you'll do is you'll come way up and hit this chord, which is the 7th fret of the 3rd string, 6th fret of the 2nd string, 8th fret of the top string. This is a D minor chord. And you can just pinch on the 3rd string and sweep up on the top string. Then hit the 2nd string individually, and then hit the 7th fret of the top string, individually, then 7th fret of the top string. Now, hammer into the 7th fret of the 3rd string, and then hit the 5th fret of the 2nd string. Just that. So you got again. Now you hit this bar on the top 4 strings, and you'll just hit the 4th string with your thumb and sweep up on the top strings. And then hit the 2nd string, 7th fret of the top string, into the 7th fret of the 3rd string, from the 6th fret into the 5th fret of the 2nd string. So you do this hammer-on thing once, hit the bar, 2nd string, 1st string, get back into the hammer-on, and then what you do is you just hit that bar again, sweep up on that bar, except this time hit the bottom string open, and that'll cue you up for a repeat here. Now I'll go through that one more time slowly. Then bar, 2nd string, 7th fret of the top string, hammer on, 7th fret of the 3rd string, 5th fret of the 2nd string, and then pinch top strings and bottom string. And then here, you can actually slide in with your thumb, like that. And then repeat that first section. You got this? Now here he'll play a little break. Sometimes he'll do this lick. Sometimes he'll do this. And sometimes he'll go. Some of those other licks that he'll do. But for now, he'll just go over this C chord, sweep up on the 2nd string, then hit the 5th string, sweep up on the C chord again, except now hit the 3rd fret of the top string. And then pinch the 2nd string and 4th strings. That's the first chord. Then you go here, and you pretty well do the exact same thing, except it's a new chord shape. Bar across the top 4 strings, 3rd fret, 5th fret of the 5th string, sweep up on that 2nd string, hit that 5th string, then fret on top of this bar, in front of this bar, the 6th fret of the top string. And then you can again pinch the 2nd and 4th strings. You've got this new chord shape, top 4 strings, 5th fret, bar, then fret the 7th fret of the 4th string, 6th fret of the 2nd string. Remember, using common notes between chords you're transitioning in between can help that chord switching be a little bit easier and faster. You're hitting a bar here, and you're also hitting a bar here. So you don't even ever need to take that bar off. And again, you just sweep on the top, the 2nd string, and the 4th string in this case. Sweep up on the top string then. Pinch the 2nd and 3rd strings. Then you come down and hit this chord, which is a little bit more of a stretch, so it'll take a little bit more hand positioning. Really getting your hand and elbow in. And then you can kind of pull back on your guitar, and what that'll do is push your neck out like that, and then you can pull back with your arm, so that can you can kind of get a little bit more force to hold this down. And what it'll be is the 4th fret of the bottom string, 3rd fret of the 5th string, and bar. Again, that same bar, top 4 strings, 1st fret, except you won't really need the top string, so don't worry about really hitting that top string. In this case, you can just sweep up on the 2nd string. I should mention it's 4th fret of the bottom string, 3rd fret of the 5th string, this bar, major chord. Sweep up on the 2nd string, bottom string, and then you can pretty well just sweep up again on the 2nd string, and then hit the 5th string. The notes don't really matter too much. And that's really that break. So then altogether you've got this first part. Back. So doing that whole cycle again, except this time you'll hit a turnaround instead of the break at the end. It's a series of chords which you'll soon get used to. It's an F chord, which you can play with your thumb on the 1st fret of the bottom string, then 3rd fret of the 4th string, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 1st fret of the 2nd string, barring the top 2 strings 1st fret. And it's an alternating bass. Any part of this F chord. You can pinch it. You can just pinch it twice. It doesn't really matter as long as you kind of align each chord with the couple beats that it's sitting in. So you've got this F chord, then you've got this D7 chord, which is actually a diminished chord as well. 2nd fret of the bottom string with your thumb, 4th string open, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 1st fret of the 2nd string, 2nd fret of the top string, this D7. Back to the C chord. So F, D7, C, then this A7 chord, top 4 strings, 2nd fret, 5th string open, 3rd fret of the top string, this A7 chord, back to the D7, and into a G7 chord, 3rd fret of the bottom string, 2nd fret of the 5th string, 1st fret of the 1st string. So at first get used to just hitting each chord. kind of finishes it with those 3 hops. On the C chord, he'll hit the 3rd fret of the top string, and just pinch the top string and the 4th string. Now, once you can play these chords, you can really fill it in with whatever picking that you like. Excuse me. Whether it's some sort of Travis picking, well, I wouldn't say necessarily Travis picking, but you can try, say, a pinch followed by one that's off the beat. Experiment with other permutations. For example, let's say you do pickups. Really there, it's just hitting one note before. Or you can do sweeps like this. There's all sorts of different possibilities, but again, as long as you can kind of keep it in line with the time that it's in, then you should be good. So that's really the whole A section, let's call it, of Cincinatti Flow Rag, which is actually most of the song. Now, getting into the bridge. It's got really this G, which is the 4th and 3rd strings open, top 2 strings 3rd fret, and on the treble side, really all you're doing is holding down this double stop and opening and closing on the 5th fret top string. And then you've got an alternating bass on the 4th and 3rd strings. Starts with that 2nd string. And that's really the 1st chord. Then you've got this familiar bar on the top 4th strings, 5th fret. Same thing, alternating bass on the 5th and 4th strings. It's a little bit of a finger twister because this time you'll be opening and closing on the 2nd string, on the off of the bar and the 8th fret. bridge, and then he'll throw in licks like this. And now, what are these types of things that he's doing? Well, I can't really play exactly even close to those kinds of amazing lines that Reverend Gary Davis will play. All I'll say is that he uses this familiar remember this chord shape? And you've got this, and you've got this. These are you've got these pentatonic chords. Now, usually you know the pentatonic scale, like the rumble thing. That's if you play it. That's if you play it off of the minor pentatonic. But if you play it off of kind of Reverend Gary Davis sliding into this bar on the top 4 strings 5th fret off of the 2nd string, and then hit the 3rd string, and then hit the 8th fret of the top string, 8th fret, and then into the 5th fret of the top string, 8th fret of the 2nd string, into the 5th fret, and then you got the 1st fret of the 2nd string to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, into the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then you can really it's a lot of using this major pentatonic. And then using chromatic notes just beneath the notes, so you can go you can use those neighboring notes. Especially between chromatic. And that's about all that I can comment on that. But yeah, that's the bridge. Second go round of the bridge, he gets back into that turnaround F, D7, C, E7, for the break. And that will be, on the bass side, he'll go 3rd fret, 5th string, 1st fret of the 4th, open, back to that 5th string, 1st fret of the 5th string. You can play a A major chord, barring the top 4th string 2nd fret, but just hitting off of the 2nd string. And then getting back to this, A flat major, remember top 4 strings 1st fret, 4th fret of the bottom string, 3rd fret of the 5th string. And then right back into that thing. I'll show another break that he does. This is a run starting off of the 3rd fret of the bottom string, and he just goes up the major scale basically with a few of those chromatic notes. 3rd fret of the bottom string, 5th string open, 2nd, 3rd, open 4th, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, open 3rd string, notice the chromatic, and then he'll go 4th string, back to the 3rd open, and then right back into it. Alright, now I'll show what he does at the very end. What he does at the very end of the Portland version of live version of Cincinatti Flow Rag. He starts off on the F chord, then to the D7, except he'll extend it by hitting this diminished chord. Diminished chords can be moved up and down. 3 frets up, 3 frets down. It's a symmetrical chord. F chord, D7. This is 4th fret of the 4th string, 5th fret of the 3rd string, 4th fret of the 2nd string, 5th fret of the top string. And then, remember this chord shape, bar top 4 strings, 5th fret, 7th fret of the 5th string, and then the 8th fret of the top string. I'm just sweeping up on the 2nd string, landing into the 5th string, landing back into the 2nd, and then pinching top and 4th, and then back into the 2nd string. Now, it's the same as the F chord, except off of the 5th string. And then you hit a bar on the top 5 strings, 5th fret, 7th fret of the 4th string, 6th fret of the 2nd string, and the 8th fret of the top string. This is a D minor chord. Sweep up on the 2nd, 5th string, top string, alternating bass on the 4th string. Now here's a funny chord. It's top 4 strings, bar, 5th fret. Now, it's a bar on top of the bar, except the next bar will be on the top 3 strings, 6th fret. And then add in the 7th fret of the top string. This is a flat, it's a sharp 11 chord, if you want to put your glasses on. If you don't want to do this sharp 11 fanciness here, you can just do a normal dominant chord, which won't be a bar on top of the bar, but this is a cool sound. It's a useful chord. Or you can play it as a normal dominant 7th chord, and then in this case you'll pretty much be playing a D7 type of shape. 7th fret of the 3rd, 6th fret of the 2nd, 7th fret of the top string, bar on the top 4 strings, 5th fret. That's like a D7 chord. Now all you're doing if you play a sharp 11 version is you're really just moving this note down one. So on the top 4 strings, bar, 5th fret, 7th fret of the 5th string, and the 8th fret of the top string. So you got this. And that's how he finishes the song. And that's really the entirety of Cincinatti Flow Rag. Before finishing up, here are a couple other ways that he'll play the bridge. The first way was like this. But he'll also do it like this, using that D7 like chord shape that's been moved up here. So that is a G7. And all you've really got to do is alternating bass on the 4th and 3rd strings. And then on the top 2 strings where you do your treble work, da-dee-doo, da-dee. And all you're doing off this chord shape, this D7 like chord shape, is lifting your pinky. Have to do that, you can just slide the chord back and forth. And then into this C chord. What else will I do? Is he'll go 12th fret, bar on the top 4 strings, 12th fret, add in the 13th fret of the top string, alternating bass on the 4th and 3rd strings still, and you can just do the same thing really, just move the chord back and forth, or open and close it, open and close, back and forth. And then he'll play a bar on the top 4th strings, 12th fret, except he'll play the 14th fret of the 4th string, 13th fret of the 2nd string. So you got three ways now. 1, 2, Now, this is really the end of the lesson, but here's another thing that you can do, or keep in mind throughout the song actually, but especially on things like the turnaround. You know, if you finish to strum each chord, or at least play them fully like this. I'm talking about when you're just playing this turnaround in the middle of the song. Actually, and this is something that he'll do often, he'll just play the F chord, and then knowing that there's this, it's in the key of C, he'll kind of noodle around here. Now, he'll noodle around, but remember, when he's noodling around, he'll often use the pentatonic shape. Pentatonic shape, here are a couple notes that are useful. Open 3rd, 2nd fret, 1st fret of the 2nd, 3rd fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret at the top. That's all you really need to know. So if you start on that F, and now between that you know that he adds in chromatics. You know, you can slide in here. And you can do these little kind of bends. Just finish it off with that D7 to the G and to the C. So instead of doing you can change it up. Sort of skipping over some of the D7, the C, the A7. Those are just some of the variations, whether it's the break or the bridge. What? extend that to the main line once you get comfortable with it. Well, it would be great if I could demo it a little bit better, but hopefully you get the idea. You can just change things up a little bit there. So, yeah, that's really the whole lesson. If you would like to, again, see a little bit more of a basic default way of going through the song, you can check out the tabs. And don't forget to think about maybe requesting a song if that's something that you would like to do. So thank you very much for watching this lesson on Cincinatti Flow Rag by Reverend Gary Davis, focusing on, I believe it's the Portland live version that he plays. Thanks for watching.